Hello, everybody. We are going to do a little bit of exception work, and exceptions can be very meticulous. And essentially, exceptions are such that you have made a mistake with your program. So, in other words, you tried to print, and guess what? You tried to print an integer instead of a string, and you get an error. Um, the program gets mad at you, uh, and it doesn't complete, right? So today we're going to try to catch these guys and um, deal with them in an appropriate fashion. So how do we do that? Well, let's start off first in that I have just a set of numbers here, one in terms of lists and one in terms of just two individual values of j and I, so 6 and 0. Now, the one I'm going to try to catch in this video is division by 0. So the general statements that you want to create is this try, and notice again, try has that colon after it. So you're going to try a set of statements. If they throw up this particular error, they'll go to this except statement. Now, if they don't throw any errors, they'll just execute as normal, and you're fine. The actual one that we're going to be using today is going to take the shape of this. So 13 through 16, we have a try, kj divided by I. If you look at j, 6i, 0, is going to divide by 0. And then it says except 0 division error. That has to be exactly the right words in the right order with the right capitalization. That is going to be what catches it, and then it's going to print divide by 0. But the beauty of this now is it's going to run to completion. So if I hit start, I end up getting you have divided by 0. And then it goes to completion. So even though it divided by 0, I could still run my program. I didn't get any errors. Now, how do you find it? Find which ones to accept. Well, I would go to the web and maybe try Google. Actually, I'm not even, or in this case, Bing, apparently. I put it in the wrong box. But I believe it's going to be docs.python.org is what you're going to find. And this should take you to Amazon, apparently. Interesting. Let's go. Let me try this again. I'm just going to type in docs and then Python. And yeah, let's try that. Yeah, docs.python.org. I'm not quite sure what I did. I'm sure on the video you guys have all seen what I did wrong. Maybe I'll clip that out. Let's go. Let's take a look. So this is where it is. What you want to do is get to the standard library here, which should just be /library if it's extended enough. Yeah, we should. All right, let's just put it over there. Yeah, it's not letting me see the full length. Yeah, in this case, /3/library index.html. You will see down at number 5 the built-in exceptions. The reason why it says 3, by the way, is because it's for Python 3. So you want to get the right set of exceptions. And I'm going to click on the built-in exceptions, and you will see a long list of these guys. And in fact, our guy, the division by 0, is right here. It's way down the page. So about 3/4 down the page is where we're going to find our 0 division error. So you can hunt through and get these and then plan for them. Or you can do them like I do them, which is the lazy way, and you can click on this guy and just take this out. I'm going to do this. Actually, I already have this saved, so I'm going to just delete the whole thing. I could just do j divided by 0. Looks, yeah, I guess j. K is equal to j divided by 0. Or j divided by I, either one. Whatever is the one you're worried about. And when I run this, you will get an error message. And here's your exception. Now notice in the top left, I can't let this go because of the way Camtasia is working today. But see where it says division by 0, and then above it there is that exclamation point. Right to the right of that exclamation point is the 0 division error. Well, that is the exact exception name that you can do. What I like to do is test out a code, get those as many errors as I can, give it to somebody else, let them get as many errors as they can, and you can just collect the names and go appropriately. So let's try that again. And I'm going to just do this. So k divided by j, and we got a 0 division error, which we can catch. Get rid of that. Hopefully everybody's happy. And let's change I to Bob. And let's make sure Bob's in quotes so we know he's a real string. And I'm still running, so I'll turn that back off. And now if I hit start again, I should throw a different exception. As you can see by the exclamation point, type error, big T, big E. Let's see if we can create one accordingly. And I'm going to say exception and type error. Some of you, if you get the auto completion, it might work. As you can see here, oops, I put exception instead of accept. Let's try that. Okay, now I get the nice grayed out thing, and I can type print one of your values is not a number. So let's go ahead and start it again, and hopefully this will give us the right error. One of your values is not a number. And you guys might say, well, how can I use this in real life? Well, you know, it always comes, these types of errors always come usually in terms of users. So in other words, I could start off with I is equal to j is equal to 6, I is equal to 0. I could say that j is going to be equal to let's say input. Let's go ahead and do an input of what pick a number, and mix some of my quotes, and let's go ahead and do that. And if I run it, I can hit start, and it'll ask me to pick a number. I'll put 5, and if I hit enter, you divide it by 0 because remember our I is equal to 0. But let's say I do the same thing here for I as well. Pick another number. And I can do I again. In this case, you might want to do that type error right here. So I could do, in fact, let's put all of this in here. So now, if we screw up in any way, we can get those exception here. So let's go ahead and put that. Pick a number, 4. Pick another number, John. And we get another error. Oops. Yeah. Sorry. Here we go. I got dragged down there. Here we get the value error. So let's remember that. Let's stop it. I'm just going to type in Control X, V, I don't guess it, and then I'm going to type in value error. And go ahead and hit it. Pick a number, 5, enter another number, Stan, enter. One of your values is not a number. So it's a good way just in case somebody puts it. And you know, some of this might be, you know, just a bad user, but some is like, you know, I don't know, I'm sure all of you have done this where you've hit a number, like hit the number 1, accidentally hit the tilde right next to it, but hit enter before you can't do it. So in that, if that's the case, what you have to do is actually just re-ask them what to, the input. So I could go back and you just have them redo that input for it. You know, one gigantic while loop. So that's one of the different ways. Before I forget, I did, and this video is going a little longer than I thought it would. I wanted to just make sure, let's highlight this guy out, that there's one thing in the book that you knew was going on, and that was right here. So we had this while statement again, but here we're using JJ and II. So I'm going to use these two pieces, and I'm just going to divide JJ by I. And as you can see in the second one, we're going to have 0 divided by 0, and we should get that 0 by division error. Sometimes you just wanted to ignore what's going on. So in other words, I could put print K, yes, string of K here. And if something doesn't go, we just want to print out all those divisions. So if I hit start, it will do all that division for me, but it will just skip over it. So the reason it skips over that 0, 0 is when it gets to that 0, 0, it throws the error and just says pass. Now, why do I even need a pass there? Because remember, we have the semicolon here, and after the semicolon is essentially created, it wants to do something. But if you don't want it to do anything, then just add that pass to it, and it will do nothing. Those are some ways to do some errors. If you want to, you can play around with it a little bit. And then later on, when we get to the second project, I probably will invoke this a little bit just so we can um, protect our programs from accidentally being ended through an exception, because remember, that is another form of hacking, is that to keep our programs secure, we have to keep them running, and if somebody gets them brings it down with exception or something like that, that can be a major problem depending on how we're employing our programs. So if you have any questions, go ahead and hit the Q&A, and if not, I will see you next time.